The Terex Fuchs MHL 454 is a specialist machine designed for moving timber. Its operating weight is around 32 tonnes. This model by NZG comes in a Terex Fuchs branded box, but there's no information about the real machine on it. Inside, the packaging is fairly standard for a model like this. It's a pair of expanded polystyrene trays and a helpfully marked top and bottom. Lifting the lid, you can see that the model is securely protected. First out is the timber handling grab. And there's also a bag containing a couple of small steel pins. Last out is the MHL 454, but it doesn't want to come out. But I'm sorry, this is Cranes Etc. and you will be reviewed. There is one last piece of packaging, and that's at the end of the stick, and it's just some soft paper which seems to be protecting the hydraulics. There are no instructions, but assembling it in a display configuration is very simple. Connecting the tool to the stick is a simple matter of offering it up and then inserting the steel pin. There's no problem at all with the fit, it goes in easily. And once that's done, the easiest thing to do then is to raise the boom a bit and make the final connection of the hydraulic lines to the tool. So all that's left to do is to grip your tool and make the connection. Looking underneath, the four-wheel drive transmission is modelled, and the big fat chunky tyres have an interesting tread pattern. They are mounted on small wheels which nonetheless have some interesting detailing. At the front there's a simple dozing blade which is used for clearing the way and pushing logs. There are small plastic grab rails leading up to the cab, and it is mainly plastic but it's got a lot of detail including falling object protection. At the rear the curved counterweight is modelled well, the lights are painted and the graphics are sharp. Looking from above, some of the detailed elements are in plastic, and the hydraulic hoses running up the boom add some interest. The hoses continue to the end of the stick, but the ones to the stick cylinders are very fine. At the end of the stick, the timber handling tool is quite large, and it's nearly all made of metal. Let's trundle the MHL 454 around the Cranes Etc. logging yard, and the wheels roll reasonably well without being free rolling. One feature of the machine is that it's designed for manoeuvrability, so it's got steering on both axles, and this has been implemented well on the model by NZG, so with the steering set it does follow a tight turning circle. Another feature on the model is the blade at the front, and that does work. You can put it down or raise it. And you can certainly use it to push around any pet snails that you may have. Rotating the model works fine in that it's very stable, but it's also actually quite stiff, so it takes a bit of effort to get it to turn round. Anyway, the most fun you can have with the Terex Fuchs, apart from saying the name with a wink, is to operate the loader. And both the boom and the stick have got a good range of movement, and the hydraulic rams have got some good stiffness because they'll hold any pose that you want to set. So it reaches out far and it is stable on its wheels as long as it's unloaded. And in the other direction it comes up close to the cab. One challenge that you sometimes find though with a model like this is that it can't be folded small to go on a low loader. So let's try this one out, and the first thing we'll do is to disconnect the tool. And the good news is that the stick folds in and allows the boom to go down almost horizontal. Of course the cab sticks up, but you can deal with that by tilting it forwards. And then it becomes a good transport load for a low loader. Let's now take a closer look at the tool, and it rotates very well at the end of the stick. And it opens and closes with a big range of movement. In fact, in this scale it might be the right size to hold any particular short log that you might happen to have. Anyway, enough talk about grabbing a log, and now let's move on to one of Cranes Etc.'s famous real-life tests. These particular logs aren't provided with the model, but they give it a good test. And here we see the operator has carried some logs up to the log stack, and then the logging grab is carefully set down. We now need to give the logs a bit of a hand job, and with the imagination running riot, we open up the grab. And after all this careful work, we can gradually raise the stick, after which we end up with logs all over the bloody place. Oh well, when in doubt, best drive away quickly. This model from NZG first appeared in 2008, so it's been around for a while. But it holds its own in terms of its detail and its functionality, and it's nice to see this model from a slightly different material handling sector. Overall, it's good enough to be highly recommended.